Greetings, Bricky community, Bricky Nation. This is a quick little cast here on Return to Learn, looking at our website, which again is www.hobart.k12.in.us/Protect Brickies. What we want to do is we want to highlight for you how to navigate that site as you're going through there, and just a few things that we want to take particular note of as you're going through that, and in particular, as you're making the choice for the school reentry response for returning to learn. And so when you hop out to the website, you're going to notice the very first thing up top. What's the one thing that will make this plan work? You, right? You, me, all of us, we are what will make the plan work. Again, we are ever grateful, ever true. Together, we will protect brickies. We know this, that all my life I want to be a bricky, work, work, work. And in this case, we are working to protect brickies. And so if I'm you and I'm hopped out on the school website and I'm over on the Protect Brickies tab, as a reminder, at any point in time right here, you'll notice that important message that pops up. And it goes through the different links that are available that you also see on my screen, like the Protect Brickies main website we're on right now, superintendent's letter, the school reentry choice, which we're going to focus on here, Bricky parent guide, and then the top 10, which we're saying put it on the refrigerator. It's a great document. And so that takes you right where we are. And so the very first thing that you'll notice right here is the 2020-2021 Protect Brickies plan. If I'm you, I'm going to start maybe with Dr. Buffington, our school superintendent's Return to Learn memo. On Thursday, July 2nd, this was approved by the School City of Hobart Board of School Trustees. And so that's what we're sharing with you now as you're making choices on the best choice to make for returning to learn for our Bricky children and students. And so I would encourage you, hop out here. It's a one-page document. Check this out if you haven't already. It's a really good synopsis of the overall scope and sequence for the days to come and returning to learning. You'll notice the same exact website that's populated out there, as well as other links. And so hop out there, check that out. It's a perfect document to go ahead and get started. The next thing that I would highlight for you is the Parent Guide to Protect Brickies plan. And so as you look at this, what you're going to notice is that as I'm making choices on returning to learning, this plan gives all kinds of details on how we are going about protecting our brickies. And so as I'm making a choice, when we're on a regular school schedule, for whether I'm going to send my child or my children to school on the campus, or I'm electing to do e-learning, this document helps me make the best choices for making that determination. Again, that is when schools' facilities are open. That is all determined by our correspondence with and in conjunction with local state boards of health, CDC, and so forth. All of that is explained up here on top of the Protect Brickies plan. And so that's a different situation than what we were in last spring, for those of you who were with us, where all around the state of Indiana, all schools were shut down. We know this, right? Starting in March. And we were all attending via e-learning. So what we're talking about for here and now with reentry is school buildings being open and parents, students making a choice on whether to return to learn and so forth on campus or via e-learning. And so if I were to go through here, you'll see the table of contents. You'll see all kinds of fantastic information that Dr. Buffington and the team have put together here for helping you make the best choice for your child in feeling good and comfortable knowing the amount of effort and the attention to detail and the correspondence that School City of Hobart has had with local, state boards of health, CDC, Indiana Department of Education, and so forth in protecting brickies. And so we'll share some more from this in separate casts. But I do just want to highlight real quick for you, this is a great document to hop out and look at to be able to get a good read on what this is going to entail for returning to learn. That gets into, for example, our instructional options for students during COVID-19. And so as you saw, or you will see in the Return to Learn Reentry Google survey that we're asking you to fill out, you have Plan A, you have Plan B. Plan A being the regular school day schedule. I'm electing for my children to, when schools are open, to attend on campus, right? And again, that's attending on campus with enhanced school safety measures, which we will look at as well. Or I'm opting for e-learning. But it's important to note that Plan B, if I elect for that, this is different, again, than the spring of last year for those of you who are with us, in that students for Plan B will be attending live from home, right, following the normal schedule. So if I'm a secondary student, that means live. I'm going to be attending virtually from home, period 1, period 2, period 3, etc. Or if I'm an elementary student, I'm following my classroom teacher's order in conjunction with those who are attending on campus in person, okay? And so those are all explained in much more detail in these documents, but I just want to make sure that we give that quick highlight for you on Plan A, Plan B, okay? So again, it goes through what is Plan A, what is Plan B. This is important for us to discuss because of what we know from child psychologists, from a social emotional learning angle and so forth, regarding the importance, when able and comfortable to, for healthy brickies to be attending on campus, right? And as you look through these different documents that we have for you available through the Protect Brickies website, you will notice, this is the condensed version in front of us, but you will notice the amount of detail and fidelity that we've put into ensuring that we are doing everything in our capability of maintaining, fostering, implementing with all precautions that we can possibly entail the safest learning environment for all students to attend on campus when they are symptomatic free and when electing for Plan A. Again, you can see here Plan B, the details that are explained. You can see that same flow chart. We would encourage you to look over these. You'll notice that this just highlights some of those safety precautions as you're adhering to the regular school day schedule for those that are partaking in Plan A. And then also, it's a different conversation again when school buildings are closed. So again, that's a different conversation. Here's one example of what some of those enhanced safety precautions are as they relate to implementing a personal health safety practices and protocols. So maybe I'm a parent, I'm a guardian, and I say, I really want my child to attend in person if possible, but I need to know what those, precautions are that are taking place. This is one such example where each student registered for on-campus instruction this fall will receive a wellness kit. And this is fantastic, right? We see this with universities and campuses and schools across the state and the country. And so wellness kits include face masks and hand sanitizer. And we're providing those initial supplies and then asking Bricky families to assist with replenishing their students' kits if possible. But again, any student that needs any item replaced by the school, you would contact the teacher for assistance and so forth. But again, these Bricky wellness kits are one of the many things that we're providing to offer enhanced safety protocols and procedures, as well as each household being able to request a reusable thermometer. This is part of that self-screening part and that conversation and so forth. Going over, self-screening and the masks and CDC advising the use of simple cloth mask coverings to slow the spread, and the importance of, and please read this closely, when and where masks are worn and so forth, and the recommendations versus requirements, and the carrying of a mask with oneself at all times, but then when they are required to be worn. And so it gets into the details involving those different options, good hygiene practices. If I'm a parent, I'm a guardian, I'm a student, and I say, I really want to attend, but again, I want to make sure that the environment is taking into consideration all possible things that could arise, to keep my brickie safe. And this would make me feel better, right? To be able to go through here and really look through the different things with exclusions and what would be done for asymptomatic, symptomatic, negative, positive, no tests, household members, and so forth. How about food services, right? I might say I'd love for my child to attend live, but how's food services going to work out, right? And so look at the amount of detail that we've put into this, and we're very, very, very proud of knowing that we're doing everything in our power to keep our brickies safe, like prepackaged boxes and bags, instead of traditional serving lines and so forth. So the cleaning of cafeterias and high touch surfaces and so forth. Transportation, same way. Like I'd love for my child to attend. They have to take the bus, let's say, in the situation that I'm personally in, or I want them to utilize, School City of Herbert transportation. What's School City of Herbert doing for that, right? And so we do. We love our students, and we have all kinds of things that are included there for your information. And then last here, just anticipating and planning for contingencies, because we're aware that plans are subject to change based on guidance from state and local authorities. Again, that's all on the Parent Guide to Protect Brickies plan. It's a condensed version of the full plan. A separate cast will be shown on our top 10, but here's a little spoiler alert. There's our top 10. This is fantastic. Put it up on the refrigerator. Utilize that on a day-to-day basis, all throughout the fall and so forth. What else? The parent guide packet. Essentially what it does is it puts these resources together. So it obviously starts with Dr. Buffington's, as a school superintendent, her letter, right? There's that wonderful top 10. There's the same exact slideshow that you just saw, that same document. And so all those things we just looked at are in one spot, which is really cool. And we put the plan at the very end, that top 10 as well. So that's a one-stop shop for all those things we just looked at as well. What about this though, right? The school reentry choice response. That's the survey that we've asked you to fill out. And so as I look at that, I really want to make sure that I'm well informed, right? And I want to make sure I'm making the best decisions for my students, my children possible, to protect brickies, while also understanding the importance of what psychologists are saying and a social emotional learning angle and so forth, for the reentry choices and returning to learn on campus in person. And so what you'll notice here is that you've got plan A, you've got plan B, right? Again, all those are detailed out in those documents we just looked at. And so plan A, plan B, and you're filling out the survey here for whether you're electing for your children, your child, your student, your students, to attend on campus, attend via e-learning. Again, it's important to remember that Plan B e-learning, it goes over that this is an option available for students, families who are high risk according to CDC guidelines. It includes what those things are, or those who do not feel safe or comfortable returning to the school schedule, or those who exhibit the symptoms and so forth. But again, it's important to realize that Plan B, when schools are in session, if I'm electing for this, as opposed to sending my children to school on campus, they're going to attend the regular school day schedule, but they're doing so from home. Now, maybe I'm you and I say, okay, that's great. I feel pretty good about navigating these different documents and looking through those, but I need more information. If you need more information, we would encourage you to go out to our full plan, which is the next link on our Protect Brickies website. And it's important to recognize that each of these things is explained in even more detail, because we want you to be fully aware. As you can see, there's all kinds of people that are looking at this right now as I speak. We want you to be fully aware of the choices that you're making, and the amount of effort and the safety protocols and so forth that has been put in place in conjunction with CDC, local state boards of health, community, state partners, Indiana Department of Education, and so forth, to really do everything on our behalves, our due diligence to ensure that we are implementing personal health safety practices and procedures, enacting safety changes in physical spaces, and so forth. If you want specific information that's even more detailed on the instructional options for so forth, these are all linked. So you could either scroll down to section 3, or you could click that link and it'll send you down here. And this gives you even more information, details on, plan A, plan B, and so forth, for what you can do to look through this. You'll notice the left column here, it gives you like the category of what you're looking at. It defines things like vulnerable populations and so forth. It gets into more detail about each of those things like self-screening and so forth. Again, it'll even show you pictures of what actual School City of Hobart building classrooms look like when we talk about, classrooms being aligned with seats facing forward and so forth. You'll notice those same color codes with red, yellow, green. State website, testing facilities are referenced here again. This is 38 pages long, and it's separated into these 10 different sections. And again, if you want to know more about enacting health safety changes in physical spaces and so forth, you get into all kinds of good stuff with ventilation systems and filters and cleaning and disinfecting. Our director of facilities, Felix Perry, is shown here with the plexiglass surrounds that are portable, that teachers will have behind them, see-through barriers, altered face masks, face shields, etc. All kinds of details on masks and so forth. And so this really gives you a deep dive into the food services, same thing, into the amount of precautions that we're taking to further safeguard ensuring our brickies are protected and so forth. That for some of us may say, man, I really wanted to send my child to school, if they are healthy and they are comfortable doing so and so forth. I just needed a little bit more information, details on X, Y, and Z. That's the full plan, right? And so a couple more things to highlight for you as you're making that choice on school reentry. There's a mandatory form for all students returning to learn. And so you could check that out. This is signed by students who are attending on site or participating in extracurricular, co-curricular clubs. There's way more information out there that all of our brickies who are participating in these things are being trained on with their sponsors and their coaches. There's more information on cloth face mask, instructions and so forth. And then, our Lake County Board of Health website and so forth. So again, hop out there, check this out. School City of Hobart's website, Protect Brickies. Wanted to make sure everybody knew about all those things that we can share with you as you're making the most informed decision possible for not only keeping your brickies safe and well, but also putting them in the best position to return to learn, and from a social, emotional standpoint, a psychological standpoint, and so forth, feeling equipped and comfortable to make that choice for their safety, as well as for those means necessary to best learn. And so thank you very much. Remember that all my life I want to be a brickie, work, 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 and we're going to keep working to protect our brickies. Thank you.